What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including somebody promoting being the elite up on the Thunderdome last night at Payback. Is Brock Lesnar done with WWE? Boxer Tyson Fury challenges Drew McIntyre. Fan outrage over WWE storyline. Reigns will be champion for a long time, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Now our first story looks at Brock Lesnar possibly being done with WWE. Fans are wondering why the WWE has removed Brock Lesnar's merchandise from its online store, leading to some speculation that the Beast incarnate may be done with the WWE. Lesnar has been absent from the WWE since Wrestlemania 36, but according to Road Warrior Animal, there is good reason for Lesnar's absence. Brock doesn't want to go back there because of the COVID thing. Coming down from Canada, he can't. He lives in Canada, so there's no traveling allowed. I know people see that and they go, Brock Lesnar should be here. No, he's living in Canada. He has dual citizenship, you can't cross the border right now, so that's why he's not on television. Now keep in mind, Lesnar's WWE shop situation could merely be a technical error, a case of him renegotiating his merchandise deal, or even attempt to swerve the fans that Lesnar isn't returning anytime soon. However, what would be the point of having Lesnar's merchandise on the shop when he has no ongoing contract with the WWE, especially when they don't own the rights to his name? But to think that both Lesnar and Vince don't want to cut is pretty dumbfounding. Now Lesnar could be taking a long break from the WWE, and when Vince McMahon feels the time is right for Lesnar's return, he'll have the Brinks truck ready to unload the cash. But for now, this whole situation seems a little weird. Next up, being the elite at the Thunderdome. It looks like another virtual fan has hijacked the show at the WWE Thunderdome last night at Payback. While this hijack pales in comparison to the fan who wore a clown outfit on the air or the fan who posted a picture of Chris Benoit, it's still a reminder that the WWE is still trying to figure out how to stop such hijacks. Now you'll likely recall how AEW wrestler and Vice President Kenny Omega participated as a virtual fan on SmackDown, and at Payback, a fan held up a foam finger that read "Being the Elite." This is something that goes against WWE's guidelines for the Thunderdome, but he managed to get away with it. However, next time you can be certain that this fan won't be welcome back, but he may get some complimentary tickets to a future AEW show. Next up, fans are upset with using Matt Riddle's personal life. A number of fans are furious with the recent move by the WWE to incorporate Matt Riddle's domestic problems into his storyline with King Corbin. Things got started when King Corbin tweeted, "Tonight I proved that Matt Riddle is a failure in a WWE ring." By the way, he's already proven that he's a failure at home. During his pre-match interview, Matt Riddle was asked about whether he knew about this comment, and he walked off when the backstage interviewer read Corbin's comments. Based on some of the fan reaction on social media, it appears the outrage stems from what these fans see as the WWE incorporating the speaking out movement accusations leveled against Riddle. However, it's clear the WWE is incorporating the recent revelation of Riddle's infidelity to his wife. Back when the speaking out accusations were made against Riddle, he denied having a romantic relationship with his accuser, only to later admit that he in fact did. Either way, incorporating Riddle's infidelity is a tasteless move and seems like the way for the WWE to punish Riddle for denying there was any infidelity when the accusations broke. However, to say that the WWE is drawing on the speaking out accusations against Riddle as part of a storyline is a ridiculous assumption. After all, this is something that Matt Riddle has admitted to anyway, so it's kind of public knowledge. Next up, Keith Lee is a Vince McMahon guy. A Payback wasn't just a big night for wrestlers who won championships, it was a big night for Keith Lee, who defeated the Legend Killer in less than 7 minutes in his debut pay-per-view match. The Limitless One seems to be in for a huge push, especially if TalkSport's Alex McCarthy is right about what Vince McMahon told Randy Orton before the match. A company source reached out to TalkSport after the event and said Vince McMahon had tasked Orton with making Lee a star before the match. Imagine how high Vince has to be on someone to have Randy Orton put them over clean as a whistle. Orton, doing the best work of his career, wants to help create the next generation of stars. He gets it. Other reports suggest Vince wants Lee to be the top babyface on Raw. If so, what will this mean for Drew McIntyre? Next up, why Randy Orton has been losing. Randy Orton has had 2 high-profile losses on back-to-back pay-per-views, leading some fans to wonder if the Legend Killer's star has fallen. Not only that, his Payback record is abysmal, as he's now 0-5. based on the variety of reports, that's simply not the case, as Vince McMahon wants to use Orton's status as Raw's top heel to put over Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam and Keith Lee at Payback. This certainly doesn't mean Orton is going down the card. In fact, he's likely going to face the WWE Champion again. According to Wrestling News' Paul Davis, we were told that the current plan is for McIntyre to return sometime after the Payback show to set up the rematch with Orton for Clash of Champions on 27th September. Oh, by the way, WWE actually had an error last night when they aired the advertisement. In fact, said 20th September, which was the wrong date. The true date is 27th September. Now, there are still rumors going around that Orton may defeat McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Previous rumors hinted that the WWE planned on having Orton defend the championship against Edge at WrestleMania 37, but those plans appear to be uncertain now. Next up, AEW's second show is coming in 2020. Our fans are still waiting for the debut of All Elite Wrestling's second television show, but their wait may be over soon. Last January, AEW and Warner Media made a huge deal when AEW's contract was extended to 2023, with the contract calling for a second AEW program. And many fans expected to see a second show air on TNT, the home of AEW's flagship show Dynamite, but so far nothing has come about. That's nothing unusual given the impact of the pandemic, but according to a recent report by Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Radio, fans should see the second show before the end of 2020. There has been much talk and speculation concerning what the second show will be like, with some talk of AEW Dark moving from YouTube to TNT, while other stories are suggesting a third show. Whatever the case, we'll keep you updated. Next up, Tyson Fury challenges Drew McIntyre. Recently, the boxing sensation challenged current WWE Champion Drew McIntyre to a match, posting a video on Twitter with the following message.
Been sitting on the train on the way home after a long busy weekend, and I'm thinking about the people that I want to punch in the face, and the first one that springs to mind is a big fella called Drew McIntyre. Now Drew, you've been having quite a bit to say about me lately. I'd love to punch your face in, honestly. I'd love to give you one of them. Bang! Right in the lips. So grow a pair, step up to the plate, like I say to your mate AJ, and come and fight the master, me. So this is an official challenge video to Drew McIntyre, the WWE Heavyweight Champion of the World. Already knocked your pal out, Braun Strowman. I'll do the same to you. Bring it.
Fury called out McIntyre for talking trash about him, and he said he'd knock out McIntyre just like he knocked out his pal Braun Strowman. McIntyre quickly responded to Fury's challenge, tweeting, "I'm not one of the normal bums you pick to fight. I'm not some punching bag getting paid to turn up and lose." Nice timing, by the way. Even with a fractured jaw, I'm pretty confident I could do 12 rounds with your pillow fists. Nice try, King. Fury reportedly made $15 million for his 2019 match against Strowman at Crown Jewel, so you can be sure he's eager to collect some more easy money for a WWE gig. But would you guys like to see Fury battle McIntyre? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, why Rusev doesn't hate Vince McMahon. Now that Miro's no-compete clause is over, he can speak his mind about how he feels about his time in the WWE. While he did have issues with the way they handled him, he doesn't hold any hatred for Vince McMahon. During a recent Twitter Q&A, Miro was asked about whether he disliked being in the WWE. "They gave me a platform to live my dream. What's there to dislike?" Now, his push may not have gone the way he wanted it, but it's clear he values his time in the company and the opportunities it created. Next up, Roman Reigns will be champion for a long time. Fans of the big dog Roman Reigns should be happy to hear that the current talk is that Reigns will be a Universal Champion for some time. According to Wrestling News' Paul Davis, a WWE source said, "Vince is not playing around. He wants Roman to hold the belt until WrestleMania at least. Everyone knows the fans will cheer him and will all expect him to be a babyface sooner than later, but the games with the silly verbiage in promos are done with. Roman will have more input this time with his promos." As discussed in our recent video on why Roman won the Universal Championship at Payback, Vince's long-term plan is to build Reigns up as a monster heel and have the WWE Universe embrace his badass character before turning him face. A lengthy Universal Championship reign seems to be the way the WWE is going about this. And finally, when is Kofi Kingston returning? Last but not least, fans of the former WWE Champion Kofi Kingston are curious when he's coming back. Kofi was written off television with a storyline injury in order to give him some time to spend with his family. Appearing on The Bump, Kingston teased when he'll be back. You know, I've been working on my home gym and it's allowed me to kind of gradually get back into the swing of things. I'm trying to not push too hard. Number one, because I don't want to suffer a setback, and be out for even longer. And number two, I'm spending a lot of quantity and quality time with my family, so I'm just trying to enjoy that. And when the time is right, I'll be back. And right now, Big E's holding it down, you know what I'm saying? It's all good and it's an awesome thing to see him kind of doing his own thing and thriving at that. So yeah, it's all about just taking my time in terms of getting back. While Kofi's injury was said to keep him out for at least 6 weeks, that could change on whether they need him back sooner. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.